Good morning, Toastmasters, Randy, guest. When you hear somebody talking about the fourth quarter, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Football.
Many people think football. Some people think the end of the year. For me, I think the last quarter of a 100-year life cycle. Yes, 85 years old. It's a long time. Fourth quarter. What do you do when you're 85 years old, a widow, self-reliant, very few responsibilities? Well, if I can remember what I prepared, I'll tell you. You have to keep a sense of humor about the whole thing, because each quarter in our lives has the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, the ugly in this quarter for me is illness and death. But I don't want to talk about illness and death. So how about the bad? What about the bad? Well, the bad is deterioration of mental and physical health. Fill in 24 hours in the day when you have no actual responsibilities. Finding new friends. All of those things are a challenge. How do I work through those challenges? I do a lot of volunteering. When my body worked better and I could stand for longer, I was a docent. I was a docent at the Challenger Space Center. Has anybody ever heard of the Challenger Space Center here in Phoenix? Don has, Matthew has, good. I was also a docent at the Rossenhaus Museum at Heritage Square, downtown Phoenix. Did that for a good number of years. I ushered at the Herberger Theater. I became a tour ambassador for the city of Phoenix. I did crowd control for the Final Four and Super Bowls. Yeah, I did all of those things. But then the voice gave out, and I couldn't stand for 4 hours at a time anymore. So I needed to do things that I could sit down at. So then I did things like I joined the board of the Rossenhaus Museum, became the president of that board. I also went, and I forgot what else I did, but it'll come back in a minute. So far, it continues to come back now and again. I joined the finance committee of the church. Stayed on that board for a long time. Stayed busy doing taxes for people, seniors. That's always a lot of fun doing that. However, I don't do that any longer. I also am not part of the church association anymore, and those types of things. So those are some of the things that I volunteered at. So how do you make new friends? Well, you stay involved in organizations. Stay involved in the church, stay involved in Toastmasters. I joined the Daughters of the American Revolution. How do I maintain my mental acuity? Well, I have a very large family. Just keeping track of those. I have 2 children. Those children have blessed me with 8 grandchildren. Those children have blessed me with 8 great-great-grandchildren. I have 4 siblings, all in their fourth quarter. I have really strong DNA. My ancestors, back as far as the 16th century, lived to their fourth quarters. Pretty much unheard of back in that time period. So, that keeps my mental acuity. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My siblings, they had 19 children. All of those children have children. All of their children have great-grandchildren. Now you try keeping track of that. Which branch of the tree are all of those people on? Oh my goodness, that keeps you mentally astute when you're doing it, but then you forget. You know, that happens frequently, that you forget. So far, I haven't ever forgotten where I was. I haven't forgotten to eat. I haven't forgotten to exercise. I haven't forgotten any of those important things. I eat well, and I stay physically active. And I encourage each of you, regardless of what quarter you are in your life, remember a few things. There's always going to be the bad, the ugly, and the good. It all beats the alternative, every bit of it. And so, Toastmasters, I encourage all you to stay active, eat well, and be around in your fourth quarter. Mr. Toastmaster.